is the 401k enough for a high income earner to retire? Is it going to do the job all by itself? Paul, what do you think?
Not a chance. Let me explain. We've talked in these episodes before about why you need to set aside, if you're just 35 years old and getting going with your retirement, you need to be setting aside 20% plus of your gross income your entire career to have any shot of replacing your pre-retirement income. Now, there's faster ways to do that, like really holding back your lifestyle so your capital at work doesn't have to be as much. But let's just explore for a second. Somebody at age 40 every single year without fail maxes out a 401k, plus they have some match. Now, for ease of example's sake and having everybody be able to understand it quickly, just listening here to the podcast, what we did is a simple example of starting at age 45. Somebody for 20 years solid gets 7% rate of return every single year, never a down year, and continues that contribution every single year for 20 years solid. Their whole goal is, I just want to be able to retire. And previously, they're making $400,000 a year. And we know from hearing from many of you, that's a very normal listener to the show. So wait a second. I need to replace like $400,000. Maybe if I'm saving $100,000 a year, I only have to replace $300,000. But let's examine what happens in just the 401k if flawlessly every year you maximize your contribution, and at least for our placeholder, a non-inflation adjusted $25,000 a year of total contribution, employee and employer match. And what do we get? $1 million. $1 million. Maxing your 401k every single year for 20 years solid to have $1 million. At a 4% distribution rate, that's $40,000 a year. And I am
the phrase "a cool million" comes to mind, that cliche. And it is a cool million because you got to turn the heat down quite a bit to save some money.
Yeah, frigid, cold-hearted, not going to bail you out of the amount of expenses you have every week. Million, because it's $40,000 a year. This is all to say most people, well, we hope you're the exception listening to this podcast, but for most people, it's not until their early 40s that they really start going to town, that retirement. And what I mean by retirement, we talk about definite financial independence, but you get a sense suddenly that one day the marketplace may not offer what you bring to bear. You've watched some people maybe hold their businesses longer than they should into their 60s, and they're not getting the multiple they would have liked in selling that business. Here's the thing. If you're getting serious about setting aside enough money, the place to start first is how quickly can I get to 20% of my gross income? Use the 401k, that's fine. Work with someone like our firm if what you want to do is make sure you're also designed an exit strategy, but more than anything, to be crystal clear, maximum contribution limits every single year without fail. We could have back tested this for 40 years with maximum 401k limits, and it's not going to get there. It's just not sufficient by itself. Even when we get really extra efficient and we do Roth instead of traditional 401k, we have to be setting aside money above and beyond the 401k because you, as a listener to this podcast, are likely in that top 1% income realm. And as a result, the 401k just doesn't do enough heavy lifting to replace the income that you're earning prior, and you've got to put money elsewhere on your balance sheet. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and when you get a moment, pick up my book on Amazon, Sound Financial Advice. It's the kind of book that's easy to read, but hard to forget all the knowledge you learned.